Hello everybody, this is a follow-on from my previous video where I went over how this car is holding up after 100,000 kilometres. This particular video is not exactly about EVs or cars in particular, but what to expect from a PPF film after 3 years and 100,000 kilometres on a white car. And as they say, white cars are probably the worst car to have a PPF film on because reasons I'm about to show you. First up, there's two big differences between a PPF film and a wrap. Okay, a wrap is a colour wrap. It's a very thin coloured vinyl designed to do nothing but change the colour of your car, and it does provide some protection from the paint underneath, from things like stone chips and sticks and keying and stuff like that. Okay, a PPF film is a lot different to a colour wrap. A paint protection film is designed to protect the paint from things like sticks, stone chips, the weather, keying, all that sort of stuff. And it is made up of multiple layers, and the outer layer is usually self-healing, so if you do get small scratches on it, like attack it with a brass or wire brush or something, in heat or under sunlight, it'll soften up and it'll self-heal and those scratches will go away. Whereas with colour vinyl wrap, that won't happen. You rip up the colour vinyl, that's it, it's damaged for good. So let's see how the car has handled 3 years of Australian summers, bushfires, snow, dirt roads, thousands of bugs attacking it from the front at 100 kilometres an hour, in a frontal assault, and see how it's holding up. First thing in PPF film on a white car is you will see the edges. The reason before, as I mentioned, was the PPF film is thicker. Because it's thicker, it has a step down between the paint and the layer of the PPF film, which means it attracts dust, dirt, which is very hard to get out of the edges, and it basically settles there and stays there and leaves black edge lines. Especially in a white car, it shows up really, really well. Any other colour car, you probably don't see that, and it's not a problem at all. But yeah, white cars and PPF films are probably the worst mix you can have. Other things you will notice is like around here. See the edges there and the dirt sitting under those edges? That's normal because the paint protection film is thicker, it's very harder to wrap around, and it does wrinkle up on those edges like that. So after 3 years, it's not too bad. You still get some of the edges here, you can see it wrinkling, because remember, the paint protection film is a lot thicker than the colour wrap. The colour wrap will go under that and stretch over that real easy, be nice and smooth. PPF film being a lot thicker, less stretch, get ridges like that. Collects the dirt, it's under the car, you don't see that under closed panels. Now I'm not sure how it's going to show up in the camera, but if you look on the back here, there's sort of like a greyish sort of mottly sort of effect on the back of the boot. I've been trying to get rid of that for ages now. I've tried alcohol wipes, a whole lot, it doesn't go away. The reason it's like that is because when we first got this car, September 2019, Australia was in a grip of massive droughts and bushfires. Where I work at the time was surrounded by lots and lots of native bushland which caught fire. And my car being left out in the car park at work was left to be covered in ash and debris from the bushfires and smoke and that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, that ash and the black debris from the bushfires has left staining on bits of the PPF, which are very difficult to remove, but I'm grateful it's in the PPF and not the paint, because yeah. Also the heat as well from those days, it was like 49 degrees, I think was the hottest day we had with this at the time. Yeah, 49 degree days, bushfires, ash and burnt leaves and stuff falling on it, and yeah, it's done a job in keeping the car protected. So once again, you can see around here the edge of the dirt. The dirt's caught on the edge, little tiny ridges there. But yeah, apart from that, still good. Now, other things you'll notice as you're washing your car is you get things like that. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera. It's a chip in the PPF. Now, because the stone has hit it and dug out a little piece of the PPF film itself, dirt and stuff's got stuck in there, which means it doesn't wash out. It just, you can see it. It means all your stone chips are now visible, but they're not in the paint. So that's a good thing. That's good. There you can sort of see the line of dirt around the edge of the chip in the paint in the film. Of course, there's a few of them on the side here as well, where things stone chips. There's a few marks there as well that they're in the film because again of the stone chips. And I mentioned before how thick it was. You can see the cut out there to help it fold around those sharp edges. Also, yes, the film does also cover the headlights as well. Especially in the Tesla, it's easy to do the headlights. They're reasonably flat. One place where the film does stand out with the dirty edges and the funny lifting edges is around the front of the bottom of the spoiler there and the splitter. Now, because under there's lots of sharp edges, lots of curves, and again, the film is thicker, doesn't like to be folded. So you see quite a few obvious join marks around that bottom half. Now remember, this is after 3 years, 2019, September it was done, and it's been through snow, probably the worst of all of Australia's weather conditions that could be thrown at it. And this is how it's holding up. I'm very happy with it, it's doing very well. No pieces have actually come off. It's stopping the stone chips, so that's always good. But yeah. Apart from those edges and the colouring, it's pretty much normal. So I've spoken to Bjorn Island from, everyone knows Tessa Bjorn, asked him on a live stream about how the PPF's holding up on his car, and he said it's pretty much exactly the same. You get the dirt around the edges, you get a little bit of lifting on corners and the really sharp bits. That's just the way it is. That's the price of having a protected paint. See there's a gouge in the PPF film. I can feel it, it's quite rough. But when I look at it closely, you can see the damage. It doesn't actually penetrate through to the paint. And also here, I think they double the layer in this area as well. I think they even do this in the factory. They put a small layer piece here. But this does cop a lot of damage from stones and rocks and stuff. And as I mentioned before, we have done quite long distances on dirt roads around Australia. And sticky high performance tyres tends to grab rocks as well and flick them up. So you expect that, but like I said, it's doing its job. It's not hitting the car. And it's probably got a bit of staining as well from dust and mud and road grime and tar stains and things like that over the years. So the colour doesn't quite sort of pop as well as it did when it was new, but I know underneath it, the colour's still pretty good. So along areas like this here where it's sharp radiuses and curves, you can sort of see the difference between the protection film and the Colorwrap. Whereas here, it just doesn't quite fold. You can see the cut lines where they've cut it to make it fold better. So unless you're looking at it really, really closely and looking at the joins and looking for the marks, you'll see the PPF film quite easily. But from a distance, from back here, unless, again, like I said, unless you're looking for it, you don't see it. But considering how much damage the films have copped so far with the stone chips all everywhere, I've found everywhere, and the millions of bugs and the weather, I'm quite happy with it. So that is how our PPF film is handling 3 years of Australian weather conditions, from scorching heat to 50-degree days, to bushfires, to snow, to torrential rains and flooding weather, and lots of bugs and stone chips. So, if you got this far, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Talk to you all later. Like, comment, subscribe, the usual crap. And I'll see you again in the next video. So take care. Bye.